LaVine with Ted LaVine Golf Better Skills for Better Scores. And today we are at Trillium Chiropractic, and I'm with Dr. Jerod Ochsendorf. Dr. Jerod has worked with many collegiate athletes and some Olympic athletes, and he's also level 1 TPI certified. And today Dr. Jerod's going to talk about getting our body ready to play our best golf.
Well, thanks, Ted. I appreciate that introduction. And today what we're going to talk a lot about is how to get your body ready for springs. One of the main things, though, is we want to talk about your spine, and we want to talk about the muscles that are around and support your spine, because those are the muscles that support and give you a lot of your stability through your golf swing. And if we don't have stability through our golf swing, well, what that leads to is a lot of inconsistency in your swing. It leads to a lot of extra motions in your swing, and it can lead to obviously higher scores. And that's, as a golfer, that's not what we want. So we want to talk a lot about how do we prevent one injury and how do we increase two stability. Okay, so Ted, one of the things that we want to see with any athlete that comes into our office before we actually give some type of prescriptive exercise, or we want to figure out where their instabilities are. We want to figure out what's going on with their body. So one of the first things that we do with any athlete that comes through our doors, we actually take an x-ray of their spine or of their body. One of the first things that we want to see is we want to see that their body is dead stick straight or straight up and down. So their spine should be 100% straight up and down when we look at them from the front to the back. Now, if this is the left side and this is the right side of our athlete or of our golfer here, one of the things that you can see is we can see there's a definite curve or a scoliosis that's starting in the bottom side of this athlete in their lumbar spine. What this does is it actually pinches the nerves that come out of the right side, and it pinches the lower left side. So one of the common injuries that I'm sure that you see quite a bit through your teaching is a lot of reverse pivot. You see a lot of low back pain. This is one of the things that will definitely lead to a lot of that low back pain. So we want to be stretching out of these or away from where these kinks are. So we'll be stretching the golfer to the left, and we'll do a lot of body shifts to the right side to remove a lot of the stress that we see here in this person's spine. Now, the proper thing to really understand and really know is which way do I need to stretch? Because if I'm stretching into this, for example, if this athlete is stretching to their right side, they're going to increase this kink. They're going to increase this curve, which is going to cause more pressure on the nerves, which is going to cause ultimately more severe injury or pain in their future. So one of the things that we want to go through is how do we stretch, or how do we look at these things, and how do we take care of that in our athlete. So if you don't mind just going down on a knee for me, if you would please. One of the first things that we want to do is we want to really start stretching the lower pelvis. So this person has a low right pelvis, so we're going to work on really stretching the hip flexor on that right side to get the pelvis to move. So one of the first things is you can see Ted is in a lunge stretch here. We're going to really work on stretching that right hip girdle. And if you can just lunge forward for me, great. And we want to be very careful here that your knee does not come in front of your toe. So you want to move your toe out towards me just a little bit. Perfect. Now stretch forward. Perfect. And you want to stay right about there. You can use a club. That helps with stability at start. And then you want to make sure that you maintain an upright posture, really forcing a good stretch into that right side of your hip there. Yeah, okay? Excellent. Perfect. As you get comfortable in this position, the next way to make it a little bit more dynamic and how we're going to stretch away from your right side is we're actually going to take the club, and you're going to hold the club out in front of you. Great. And now I want you to go up over your head. And very nice and easy, as you maintain your stability, you just want to bend to your left just to increase that stretch a little bit. You can feel the stretch into your oblique muscles, probably up higher into your tummy where the actual hip flexor inserts into your lumbar spine, and then down into your hip as well. You want to hold that stretch for about 10 to 15 seconds, getting a good stretch, a good deep stretch, and then coming back up, okay? And then you want to do that stretch about 2 or 3 more times, really getting a good deep stretch into that hip flexor, into your oblique muscles. Again, that takes a lot of that stress and pressure off that right side of that golfer, okay? The next thing that we want to do is we want to talk about how to stretch your hamstrings. So if you want to stand on up for me. Great. So the first thing that we're going to do is just a nice light stretch that we're going to work on touching our toes. So just like you're doing with the club, you want to just kind of bend forward. Good. And then as you get to the bottom, just a nice little ballistic stretch. You can actually bounce a little bit. Now, you don't want to overstretch, because what this is going to do is going to lead to a lot of problems in the lower back if we do a lot of pulling, and if we're going to force a stretch, you can actually injure yourself even more. Okay. So as you go down, you just want to do that light little bounce, okay? And then on that last one, what you're going to do is you're actually going to hold for about 10 or 15 seconds there, and just allow your body to relax. Allow your hamstrings to relax, your lower back to relax, and you're going to get a good stretch into your hamstrings there, okay? The next thing that we can do is we can not only stretch the hamstrings, okay, but we can also go left over right, okay, and get a little bit deeper stretch into one particular hamstring. And then again, you're going to go down and touch your toes for me. Excellent.
I'm not touching my toes.
No, you're not, definitely not even close to your toes. So we got to work on your hamstrings and your lower back. A way to actually work on shortening and lengthening different muscles in your spine is use a little prop. So what we can do is you can actually use a golf towel. A lot of us have golf towels. And what you're going to do is you're going to fold your golf towel in half, and you're going to roll it up. And you want to make it about a 2 to 3 inch roll. You're going to lay that down in front of yourself on the range, and you can actually step on there with your toes. Perfect. This gives about an inch, a half an inch to an inch of raise, which is going to cause more stretching into the calf muscles and into your hamstrings. So again, go ahead and go down for me. Excellent. Very, very good. You're going to hold that again for 10 or 15 seconds and then come all the way back up. And you would do this again 2 or 3 times. Okay. After you're done with the toes up, you're actually going to step over the towel and put your heels on the towel. Great job. And then you're going to actually go down and touch your toes again for me. This gives a different stretch as well, and you can see how he's getting lower and lower every single time here as he elongates the muscles in his low back, as he elongates the muscles, obviously in the back of his legs, his hamstrings, and all the way down to your calf muscles. So these are just a couple of the stretches that we obviously do with a lot of the athletes that come into our office that really take a lot of the stress off their low back and off their hamstrings. And then there's a lot of dynamic exercises that we have to incorporate into our athletes as well. And then we send them back to you so that you can fix their sway or reverse pivot or whatever they're having problems with. So, working together one-on-one with a professional, golf professional, it really helps in our practice and with our athletes as well. So we definitely appreciate everything that you're doing as well.
Well, thanks again, Dr. Jerod. And to find out more about Trillium Chiropractic and Jerod Ochsendorf and his team here, you can visit the links I've put below. I'm Ted LaVine with Ted LaVine Golf, better skills for better scores. Please visit my website at tedlavine.com or my Facebook at Ted LaVine Golf. Thank you and good luck.